first week of NBA free agency has come and gone, and we enter the second wave of free agents. So, on today's show, I am going to look at the top players still available after the first 7 days of NBA free agency. I am Nic Rohloff. This is NBA Now by Chat Sports. And before we get into the top free agents, my boss has challenged me to get 200 likes on this video. They threatened NBA content. I want to continue to make videos here for y'all on the channel. So hit that thumbs up icon. Let's get to 200 likes, and let's talk about some top free agents still out there. Number one is Jonathan Kuminga. He's a restricted free agent. We'll see what his market is. It has not been a hot market, let's say. There are teams that have been rumored to show interest is Miami, Golden State, obviously, maybe re-signing him, Chicago, Washington, Sacramento. Kuminga's market could pick up here in Las Vegas Summer League this upcoming weekend, as it is rumored that he will talk to teams. But there isn't a lot of movement on the Kuminga front. Will he return to Golden State? Will it be a sign and trade? We will have to see. Another restricted free agent is Josh Giddey. Now, you want to talk about not a lot going around him? There has been no talk about any team in the association showing interest in Josh Giddey outside of Chicago potentially re-signing him for a $30 million per season extension. Does that happen? Maybe. If I'm Chicago with no interest around the league, I maybe try to get him for like 25, get him for $5 million cheaper. But all signs point towards Josh Giddey remaining a member of the Chicago Bulls in the 2025 season. Another restricted free agent is number 3 on our list, Quentin Grimes. Grimes had a really good season after being traded from Dallas to Philadelphia, but he apparently wants about $25 million per season. That's a pretty egregious amount of money if you're asking me. Philly doesn't have the most amount of space. I doubt they sign him to $25 million per season, but they do want to retain him. And with limited interest around the NBA, I would have to imagine Quentin Grimes will remain a member of the Philadelphia 76ers. The most surprising unrestricted free agent on the market right now is Damian Lillard, because not many people believe that he was going to be waived by the Milwaukee Bucks in order to make that Miles Turner signing happen. Well, he was, and there is a lot of interest for Lillard. He is not going to play this upcoming season, but teams like Miami, Boston, the Lakers, Golden State all hold interest in potentially signing Lillard in hopes to have him rehab with them in 2025 and then return to the court in 2026 with a revamped roster. So predict it for me. Lillard, the top unrestricted free agent available in our opinion, where does he sign? Unfortunately, I have a feeling he's going to be a Boston Celtic. And I don't like that because they're just going to take a gap year, probably get a decent draft pick, and then have Tatum and Dame return in 2026. And I don't really like the feeling of that. But that's my prediction. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Number 5 on our list, we're going back to a restricted free agent, Cam Thomas. This is a player very similar to Quentin Grimes, very similar to Josh Giddey, where it sounds like he's going to get 20 to 30 million. Like, I'm not sure where he falls in that range, but likely bare minimum 20 and maximum 30. But just like Grimes and Giddey, there hasn't been a lot of rumors and interest from other teams in free agency. So Cam Thomas is likely going to stay a member of the Brooklyn Nets. It's just a matter of how big that contract ultimately is. Let's get over to an unrestricted and Al Horford here. It seems like he is just going to be a Golden State Warrior or he's going to retire. It feels like he's definitely signing with Golden State. Unsure of why he has not signed with them at this point because Golden State has a ton of space and a ton of roster spots to fill, and they could just sign him right now. I don't know why Al is waiting to make the decision, but this is going to be a really good fit. A Horford, Draymond, Jimmy front court, assuming Kuminga's not there. Then you have a backcourt of Curry and fill in the blank. Horford's a pretty good big that fits what Golden State likes to do. Chris Paul is reportedly deciding between the Los Angeles Clippers and Phoenix Suns. Now, I don't really understand why he would go to each of those teams. He's played for both of them in the past, obviously. Both teams already have a point guard, if you will, and I just don't understand why they would go with him. Chris might want to go to Phoenix. I don't know why, to be honest. That team would just be an utter disaster. The Clippers make a little bit more sense to me because he could be the backup point guard to James Harden, work with Chris Dunn and others. But, man, I just don't understand why the Suns would be interested in Chris Paul. I get a little bit from the Clippers. Doesn't have a big market out there. Likely just going to be one of those two teams. Malcolm Brogdon. He was reported that was going to have interest from the Sacramento Kings. Now, that hasn't really come to fruition at this point. And the Kings signed Dennis Schroeder. Do they want to sign another guard? Probably. It will depend on what happens with Malik Monk because he's rumored to be traded. Brogdon would help any contender, good veteran leader, defensive piece that could not be what he was in the past, but could be a good helping bench player at this point. A player that I'm higher on, I feel like, than consensus is Amir Coffey. I like what Amir Coffey brings to the table. He's 6'7". This past season in Los Angeles, averaged 9.7 points per game, shot 41% from three. I like his length. I like his size, his versatility. I think he defends at a pretty solid level. And with him improving year after year as a three-point shooter, would provide a lot of value to any team that needs some bench depth and presences on the wing. Coffey, I don't know why he's still available, and I think it would be a crime if he only gets like a vet min. I think he's worth a little bit more than that. Russell Westbrook here at 10. Similar player like Malcolm Brogdon in terms of helping a contending team off of the bench. Another player that is rumored to have interest with the Sacramento Kings, but as we know, they signed Dennis Schroeder. So is there still interest there? I don't know, but Russ, who had an up-and-down season for Denver a year ago, will look to land with a contender to try to help a team win a championship. 10 more free agents to get to on today's show, but we have nonstop coverage and analysis during NBA free agency. We went live for 4 days of the first week. We had videos every single day in the sports world, specifically on the NBA. Subscribe now if you want more around the NBA. The back half of free agents starts with Chris Boucher. A team that makes a lot of sense for Boucher, in my opinion, is the Denver Nuggets. Jonas Valanciunas, they traded for him. Well, sounds like he's not going to be playing in the NBA this season. He's going overseas, allegedly. Denver apparently is going to try to convince him otherwise. But if they cannot, I think Boucher would be a relatively good fit for the Nuggets. A really lengthy big man who could space the floor a little bit. He's never really put it all together, but can provide you nice minutes in spurt moments. They also have Deron Holmes, the first-round pick from 2024, coming back from a torn Achilles. Boucher and Holmes could be a solid bench duo behind Jokic. Kyle Lowry here at number 12. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's the Kyle Lowry of old. That would be very misleading of me, but he can give you solid minutes off of the bench. And when you look at some of these guards still available, just not many of them have the championship pedigree, the IQ that Lowry brings to the table. Can still hit a three when open off the catch. Can still be a solid team defender. Won't ask him to guard his own yard, but makes the right rotations and the right reads. Lowry could still help and be a good mentor off the bench. Gary Payton. Sounds like his time in Golden State is over. So I don't know where he goes because it feels like Golden State's the only team that has ever made sense for him, and I'm just not sure what his skill set is in a Golden State or a less system, I should say. He just reminds me so much of like a worse version of Josh Hart. I don't know where Gary Payton ultimately goes. An interesting player here, where I would like to see a team take a flyer on DeAnthony Melton. Melton was really good with Philadelphia before signing a deal with the Golden State Warriors. He tears his ACL super early in the season, which forced the Warriors to trade for Dennis Schroeder. But Melton was a player I thought was going to do really big things in Golden State. Obviously didn't go his way because of the injury, but as he's fully rehabbed and healthy, ready to go for this upcoming year, I think he could contribute off the bench as a guard with the ball in his hands, as an off-ball shooter as well. This is a very low vet min flyer that I would be very excited about if my team signed. Ben Simmons at 15. I don't know what happens with Ben Simmons. He did some nice things with the Clippers towards the end of the season. Didn't get too much run in that playoff series against the Nuggets, but Simmons is still bringing a good skill set to the table. Yes, is he someone who doesn't shoot the ball? Yes. Is he not going to be able to be aggressive offensively? Yes. But he can still play make. He can still rebound. He can still handle the ball and defend at a good size. Any team that has a vet min roster spot on the table, I don't know if Simmons wants more than that. I don't know what the situation is. But I would take the flyer on Simmons because he still can bring some good things to the table. Cody Martin, the brother of Caleb Martin, got waived by the Phoenix Suns, had an okay season last year. He was acquired middle of the year from a trade with the Charlotte Hornets, waived to free up $8 million in space for Phoenix, and now he is an unrestricted free agent. I don't want to keep on saying like he could be someone solid off the bench, but like he can give you spot minutes. Then that's the nicest thing I'll say about him. Final little bit of free agency here. Trey Lyles, the former Kentucky Wildcat. Lyles, a big man that can space the floor a little bit, thrives in a system that is a little bit up-tempo and more offensively focused because he can handle it. He can shoot it. He's not the best defender, but if you're looking for a backup four and you already have a pretty solid front court in terms of center, backup center, and your good starting power forward, well, then Lyles could fit your roster as that fourth guy. 3 more free agents to get to here. Who is your top free agent available in your opinion? I would probably say, even though he's out for this upcoming year, it's got to be Damian Lillard, right? That's just my thoughts. Let me know your top free agent available right now. Alec Burks joins our top list here for the first time. We had to replace a couple of guys since Mo Wagner got signed. We also saw Jackson Hayes get signed since the last time we made this video. Burks did not play a ton for Miami last season, only in about 49 games. Not because of injury, just because of the way Eric Spoelstra ran his rotations. But when he played, he averaged 19 minutes a night and averaged 7.5 points and shot 42.5% from three. Burks is still a very reliable, capable veteran shooter off of the bench. And any team that is going to look for a guy that doesn't need to get a lot of PT but can still stroke it, yeah, Burks is going to be your cup of tea. Precious Achiuwa at 19 here. I think he could be like Trey Lyles, a fourth big man. Didn't get a lot of run for New York last season when Cat, Mitchell Robinson were both fully healthy. But I still believe he can give you good minutes during the regular season. Won't bank on him in the postseason. But during the 82-game regular season, yeah, Achiuwa can be your fourth guy in that front court. The final free agent we'll talk about is DeLon Wright, another New York Knick. He is a still solid defender, not going to give you a lot offensively or athletically, but smart, high IQ, and defends. DeLon Wright, good mentor as well. I would be open to signing DeLon Wright if my team needed a solid veteran guard that can give you 10 minutes a night maybe, but also help develop some of your young guys. Like a team like Washington, if they would like to have him, I guess they already have some guards or veteran guards on that team, but that type of mold is where I think DeLon Wright could ultimately land. All right, that will do it for today's video. Appreciate everyone who tuned in and watched. Like I said off the top, hit that thumbs up icon. If you're still watching the video right now, you like what we're doing to some degree, so help us out and take 1 second to hit the like button.